Okay, welcome everyone to the Town of Greater Napanee Committee of Adjustment for the 14th day of May 2024. Just before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that this evening's meeting is being live streamed via our YouTube channel, and it'll be placed on our YouTube channel from now to eternity. So the folks that can't watch tonight have the opportunity to watch it later on. So again, welcome. Having said that, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Moved by Councillor Martin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Calver. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none. Look for a motion for the adoption of the minutes for the Committee of Adjustment for the 9th day of April 2024. Moved by Councillor Shank, seconded by Councillor Norrie. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. Land severance applications. Land severance application PLCOR 2024-008 1425775 Ontario Inc. 7626 County Road 2, parcel to be created, is located immediately east of 7656 County Road 2. Legal description, concession 6, part lots 25, former geographic township of North Fredericksburg. And usually what we do is we ask if there's anyone here to speak for or against this application, but there's just one person in the body of our council chambers, and he's not here to speak to that matter. So I will turn it over to Mr. Nopes. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, Your Worship. I will speak to all three of these applications together as they've been submitted as a package, essentially. So this overall land holding has frontage on County Road 2 and Little Creek Road. The proposal is to ultimately result in the creation of 4 lots, so 3 new and 1 retained lot. The land is also partially located in the hamlet designation of on the southeast corner. So we won't be exceeding the maximum number of severed lots because within a hamlet settlement area, there's no limit on number of new lots to be created. So this complies with that policy. We've had comment from the county. They don't have concern with future access. However, for the 2 lots fronting on Little Creek Road, so these are items 5.2 and 5.3, the Cataraqui Conservation Authority has identified a significant valley type feature near the frontage of the lots, which would need to be overcome to gain access to the depth of the lot. So the CRCA has requested deferral, and staff, in consultation with the applicant and the CRCA, are in agreement with that. We want to give the applicant and the CRCA time to review on site this feature and determine if the CRCA is able to, in principle, support creating an entrance through this feature. It's going to warrant some further on-site investigation, and pending the outcome of that, which is anticipated to occur this week, it's likely that the CRCA would require specific conditions to be imposed on any provisional approval of the lots to be created fronting on Little Creek, which would likely take the form of a hydraulic assessment of that feature to determine minimum size of culvert and those sort of engineering details. So at this time, given that all of these applications were submitted more or less as a package, and there's a request to defer 2 of the 3, the proponent is okay with staff recommending deferral of all of them so that they can be considered all together at a forthcoming meeting. We're hoping to bring this back to the next meeting of the committee. Just we do anticipate that the site meeting will take place in the very near future, and the CRCA can render an ultimate position on the proposals from there. So if there's any questions, I'd be certainly happy to answer those.
Great, thanks, Michael. Is there any questions of Michael with respect to his presentation or the reports before us this evening? Seeing none, and there is a recommendation. I'll read the recommendation off for deferral on this and the other ones. So we'll go through the process here. We do have a staff recommendation that council or the committee defer a decision regarding application PLCOR 2024-008 to a future meeting of the committee to allow the CRCA and the applicant additional time to review site access considerations for the proposed severed parcels under applications PLCOR 2024-009 and 010, with the intention to consider applications PLCOR 2024-008, 009, and 010 together. Moved by Deputy Mayor Calver, seconded by Councillor Norrie. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. And we'll just go through the process. I know that the next two are related, and we've heard probably all the details on that, Michael, but we have 5.2 on our agenda. Land Severance Application PLCOR 2024-009, 1425775 Ontario Inc., 7626 County Road 2. Parcel to be created is immediately east of 1147 Little Creek Road. Legal description, concession 6, part lot 25, former geographic township of North Fredericksburg. And I think we've probably heard most of the details. Is there anything else you would like to add, Michael?
Nothing further, Your Worship. I will just note that when these applications come through, staff circulate and essentially pick a meeting date so that we can at least have the public meeting to hear public comment before committing to a decision. Unfortunately, given that we've committed to a meeting date, the CRCA hasn't been able to finalize their review. So it's unfortunate we can't render a decision this evening, or we're not recommending rendering a decision, but that's just the typical process. However, if there were members of the public that wanted to make representations regarding the applications, now would be the time for them to do so. We did receive a letter from a neighboring property owner that's included in the agenda for the committee's consideration, which I'll draw your attention to for items 5.2 and 5.3, which does speak to the concern around that the CRCA sees as well with potential issues with possibly interfering with that valley feature and water course that may have upstream and downstream impacts. So again, recommending deferral, and if there were members of the public here, then this would be their time to speak to the applications.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Is there any questions or comments for Michael? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee defer a decision regarding application PLCOR 2024-009 to a future meeting of the committee to allow the CRCA and the applicant additional time to review site access considerations. Moved by Councillor Shank, seconded by Councillor Pennell. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. 5.3 Land Severance Application PLCOR 2024-010, 1425775 Ontario Inc., 7626 County Road 2. Parcel to be created is immediately west of 1181 Little Creek Road. Legal description, concession 6, part lot 25, former geographic township of North Fredericksburg. And same things we just heard then. So is there any questions or comments with that with respect to Michael's report? Seeing none, we have a recommendation the committee defer a decision regarding application PLCOR 2024-010 to a future meeting of the committee to allow the CRCA and the applicant additional time to review site access considerations. Moved by Deputy Mayor Calver, seconded by Councillor Martin. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried, and we'll look for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Pennell, seconded by Councillor Shank. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. Thanks, folks, and we'll see you back at 7 o'clock for a regular session of council.